Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Order's now on. This interview is in reference to Internal Affairs case number 17-19. Today's date is the December 4th, 2017. Time now is 10:35 a.m. This interview is with DFC Robert Tuck of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, who's currently assigned to, is it street crimes or is it called the STAR unit now?
Yes.
Which one?
STAR unit. Yes, sir.
Present for this interview is myself, Sergeant Scott Clemens, the officer in charge of the investigation, and is also present is his attorney, Mike Savage. This interview is taking place in the IAA office at headquarters. This case results from a complaint initiated by Robert Close, that's C-L-O-S-E. Focus of this interview will be related to conduct unbecoming. DFC Tuck, I wish to advise you that you are being questioned as part of an internal affairs investigation of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. You will be asked questions specifically directed and narrowly related to the performance of your duties. You are entitled to all rights and privileges guaranteed by the State of Florida, the Constitution of the United States, including the right not to be compelled to incriminate yourself and the right to have legal counsel present with you at each and every stage of this investigation. I further wish to advise you that if you refuse to testify or to answer questions relating to the performance of your duties, you will be subject to office charges which could result in your dismissal from the Sheriff's Office. If you do answer neither your statements nor any information or evidence which is gained by reason of such statements can be used against you in a criminal proceeding with the exception of perjury or obstruction. However, the statement could be used against you in relation to office charges. This is what is known as the Gary Rule. Do you have any questions about the Gary Rule?
No.
DFC Tuck is a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida. I am empowered to administer oath and take sworn testimony pursuant to Chapter 11710 of the Florida State Statute. Will you permit me to do so at this time?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony and statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Okay. DFC Tuck, do you know what the term perjury means?
Yes.
Will you explain that in your own words, please?
To omit information, mislead, withhold information, or outright lie.
Perjury, as defined in Florida State Statute, is a person commits perjury if in any official proceeding he/she makes a false statement under oath or equivalent affirmation, or swears or affirms the truth of statement previously made when the statement is material and he/she does not believe to be true. It can also arise from the omission of facts directly related to the truth of statement or an attempt to deceive another taken statement. You understand that?
Yes.
All right, what I'm going to ask you to do now is please sign this form acknowledging that you have received the Gary Rule and been placed on the oath. A couple other things here. You understand this is an internal investigation?
Yes.
Do you understand that I am the officer in charge of the investigation?
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of the investigation?
Yes.
Have you been told the name of the complainant?
Yes.
Do you have you had the opportunity to review all recorded statements made by the complainant and witnesses prior to going on tape?
Yes.
Do you have any questions prior to starting this interview?
No.
You understand that compelling that you talk during this interview does not give you the right to give false or misleading information, and in doing such could make you face criminal charges of perjury or obstruction?
Correct.
All right, please begin by stating your full name, rank, and present assignment.
DFC Robert Tuck, and I'm currently with the STAR unit.
Okay. What I'd like to do now is just say basically you've had the opportunity to review everything that I have, statements and everything, all right?
Yes, I have.
All right. What I'd like you to do at this point is just go ahead and tell me your side of the story.
Okay. I've known Danielle Angelo for 7 years, 6.5, 7 years. And reading her statement, it seemed otherwise, but I've known her for 6, 7 years. We have mutual friends. My best friend is good friends with her fiance, Robert Close. We attend parties together, birthday parties, certain family functions that include this circle of friends. I've had conversation and been around her on 30, 40 different occasions prior to taking our relationship to the next level. I can't be certain of the date, but sometime at the beginning of October, around about, I went out with a group of friends in downtown Punta Gorda with no intentions on seeing her, and didn't know she was there. Anyway, I ended up seeing her there. One thing leads to another. We get to talking. She's talking about Rob, things that are going on with her home life. We had some similarities and things like that without getting too in depth with it. So we just kind of struck up a conversation there. When we left there, we went to a mutual friend's house. A small group of us did. While we were there, nothing transpired, nothing, no hugging, no anything. It was, again, just a group of friends hanging out. We left. Fast forward 2-3 days goes by. I reached out to her because I wanted to clarify a comment that was made by a friend while we were out that night in downtown Punta Gorda. She told me, no worries, don't worry about it. He didn't know what he was talking about, whatever, and we left it at that. Another 2-3 days goes by. I never tried to contact her again, nor was I going to. She reaches out to me and says, hey, I've been thinking about you, and you've crossed my mind, and I enjoyed having a conversation with you the other day because we have a lot of similarities. That was that. I'm not sure if it was that same day that she had texted me the first time or not. I don't really have any documentation of that, but she, one day on her way home from school, texts me and says, hey, I'd like to meet up with you. I was working. I was over in the District 2 area. I met with her at Sears, pretty close to where we used to park our patrol cars. I didn't really know, I didn't feel comfortable standing outside of my car to speak with her. So when we pulled up, she just got out of her car, and I told her she could have a seat in the front seat of my car. We sat there. We talked for maybe 40 minutes, just talking about, again, just everything, the issues that she was having, and we just had a good friendship at this point. While talking there, right before she got out of the car, she leaned over. I gave her a peck on the lips. It was not a makeout session. It was never anything more than simply a peck on the lips. She left. She reached out to me later in the day and said, I like you, blah, blah, blah. So now fast forward to, I don't know if it was the next day or it was within the next 2 days. She reaches out to me again. We were in pretty much constant contact during the day when I was working and when I was at home. We would text each other. She texts me when I'm working, or she texted me one day before I'm heading into work. I was going to the gym. I was in a CID vehicle, a silver one. Doesn't have a computer stand in it. Doesn't have any kind of insignia on it, anything like that. I did not have my computer with me that day because my computer dies within 45 minutes of being turned on if it's not plugged into something. I met her before I went to, or as I was on my way to the gym. She said, hey, I'm over near the gym. I'll stop by and see you for a minute. I said, that's fine, but I got to work out and then go to work. I'll meet up with you for a minute. She came there. We talked. I actually was trying to get out and get into her truck just because obviously if I could get in her truck as opposed to sitting in the car talking with her, that's what I would prefer to do. Before I could get out of my truck, she was walking towards, or before I could get out of my car, she was out of her truck and walking towards my car. We spoke. She sat in the car, we spoke for a minute. She said, my truck is so dirty and I've got a bunch of stuff in there, I don't want you in the car. So we sat there and we talked for another 20, 30 minutes. And same scenario. By the end of it, she was kind of a socially awkward person, and it was kind of awkward, period. So by the end of it, same scenario. She leans over, she gives me a peck, she leaves. No intimacy, no nothing. It was just a kiss on the lips. See you later, talk to you later. Couple more days go by, and I can't even remember in what order it happened, but and if I'm getting off the beating path here, tell me. But needless to say, over the next couple of weeks, we had relationships outside of work, off duty, in her truck that occurred. Again, I really don't want to get too in depth with that because I was not working and it wasn't.
I don't need you to get in depth about
but
what occurred off duty.
That all happened when it happened. I'm getting a tattoo. After all that happened, I cut her off. I basically said, look, I can't have any more contact with you. This has gotten a little out of hand, and I just don't feel right about it. And I was having some remorse and some guilt where I wanted to be honest with my wife. So I had left, or I was up getting a tattoo one day, and she text messages me and says, hey, you know, I know you're getting a tattoo today. I remember you told me you had this appointment. And she starts sending me photos and videos of herself in the nude. So as soon as I receive these pictures, I then start getting phone calls from Robert, her boyfriend. At that point, I put two and two together. Okay, something must have happened. I don't know what's happening, but something happened here. This happened on a Thursday. On Friday, I am on my way to an event with my wife in the car, and her phone rings, and I hear her say Rob's name over the phone, acknowledging that she was talking to Rob. And again, at this point, I had already decided I was going to come clean with her with some things that had occurred, but at this point, you're talking, it was 12 hours at the most since I figured out that he had learned about what was going on. I didn't know to what degree he knew anything or anything like that. She hangs up the phone with him. She asked me some questions, and they were very limited information. I came clean with her. I told her everything that happened, which was more than what was being alleged. I told her this happened, that happened, here's where it was, this is what I did. She was upset with me, but it was something we were going to get through. A few days later, I get a phone call, or she says something to me, Jeanette says something to me about Rob still does not know the truth. He's texting me wanting to know the truth, and I don't feel that it's my place to tell him the truth. If you want to call him and talk to him, you can go ahead and call him and talk to him. I called him, I talked to him, I told him everything. The entire time, he kept catching her in lie after lie. He's saying, well, she's saying that she's never even seen you, that you guys just have been texting and she's never even met up with you. That's fine, she's lying to you. Okay, well, she's saying that anytime that she ever met up with you, it was in your personal truck. That is a lie. It was in your truck, and it is the truck that's that you provided in the pictures there. It has a Florida Gators emblem on the back window. So I said it's inaccurate. It wasn't nothing in my truck. It happened in your truck. This goes on, and he eventually says, okay, she is admitting to some of it, but she's still saying it didn't happen in my truck, in Rob's truck. I told him that's something you guys are going to have to hash out between you. Then he proceeds to tell me, well, I don't know what to believe anymore because she's suffering from postpartum and she's the biggest liar and she's just a compulsive liar. I never know if she's telling the truth. She's gone, always want to go out with her girlfriends, and Her demeanor is totally different since she's had this kid, and I just don't know what to do with her. So I tried to comfort him a little bit. I tried to talk to him and say, you know, number one, this whole postpartum thing is news to me. She's never told me that. She never led me to believe that there was anything going on with her. And he said, Robbie, she's a mess. I don't know what to do with her. He then brought on kind of an accusation that she was making, like I was the one pursuing her. It is the exact opposite. From the moment, once this started to kind of, the relationship kicked off, it was constant photos, videos, photo, video, over and over and over. And unfortunately, I put myself in bad situations, but that's the extent of our relationship. I haven't had contact with her since the day that he was calling my phone, since the day that Rob was calling my phone and trying to get me to answer. I've never talked to her since then. I haven't tried to text her, call her, anything like that. I did talk to Rob that one day to tell him everything that was going on. And that's it.
There's no other times you met her while you were working?
I met her a couple times while I was working, yes. Yes, I met her at the hospital parking lot, the overflow parking lot right there, right out in the open. People walking by the entire time. We were parked right near where the bridge is at to cross over from that overflow parking to the hospital. We parked right there in the open. I met with her prior to going to Gainesville in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel, which was right next door to where she had just gotten me coffee at the Dunkin' Donuts at that gas station. And then I had, let's see, I told you, I'm trying to rewind here and go back to the 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
All right.
I don't believe I'm missing an occasion.
Let's talk about those times that
Okay.
what Danielle said. That maybe you can clarify some things. Well, first thing is you on your GPS you're shown at that area of the mall around exactly what time was 12:05 in the afternoon, and then you're not shown there on GPS again till 12:56. Do you know how that would happen? How you wouldn't be on your GPS?
I have no idea. I don't know how to do that, nor have I ever tried.
Do you turn your computer off at any time?
I do not, have not. The only thing that happens sometimes is through whatever that's called, Vision Mobile. It seems like every day and multiple times throughout the day you're getting the thing. It's basically an icon saying you need to update, and it flashes on the screen until you do it. You update it, then you got to re-log back in before it'll pick back up. I don't know if that disables the GPS when I log out of that and then log back in, or is the GPS on just if the computer's on? I don't know, but I've never turned my computer off to evade anything. And the only thing I can think of that may have anything to do with the GPS going that way would be if I restarted it, rebooted it based on the updates that come through in Vision Mobile.
She said that that you guys made out during that period of time.
No,
in the
not
vehicle.
true. Not true.
All right. The Around Clock Fitness. You said that you were there with her, and you were in the silver SUV,
Yes.
and she was in there with you,
Yes.
and you guys talked for quite 30 minutes or so. You said.
Yeah, it was about 30 minutes.
Did you? And you guys kissed at that time?
I believe that time the only thing I did, I don't think I kissed her when she first got in the car. I think she kissed me when she left. Kiss on the lips. It was nothing intimate. There was no.
And
there's nothing to it.
Danielle says that you fingered her vagina.
Absolutely not.
That never happened.
No.
Do you know why she would say that?
I really don't know why a lot of this is happening. But again, I know that she's pretty upset about the fact that I'm still with my wife. She's upset about the fact that I'm not with her. I don't know why. I don't have any idea why she would say that.
And then you said that you were at the hospital. That was in your white Taurus, the white
Yes.
white car. She got in there as well.
Yes.
And I believe she referred to the fact that you guys were kissing in there again. That didn't happen.
I gave her a peck on the lips when she left. That was it. Never. It wasn't a makeout session. It was not.
All right. And then the other time was at the Cracker Barrel.
Before I went to
Yeah.
Gainesville.
And you're aware, obviously, what she said happened there.
Yes.
Did you end up getting in her truck, or
Yes,
did
I
you
did.
guys get in the Taurus?
No, I got in her truck.
And what happened during that time?
I sat in the truck with her just like usual. We talked about we had a relationship, like I said, where she was going through a lot of the same things I was. We would talk for a while. She had got me some coffee. We sat in there and talked for a bit. I got out of her car, got into my car, and left.
She never gave you oral sex?
No.
Were you late to meet the other members that morning?
I was a few minutes late because on my way to go meet with them, I realized that I probably should top off on gas. So I pulled into the gas station right there at the one where the Dunkin' Donuts is. Got some gas, topped off. I was still good on time there, but Officer Mills was there, John Mills, the K-9 deputy, and we sat there and talked for 5-10 minutes and maybe 5 minutes. And I just told him, look, I got to go. I'm running behind as it is, and went over to Walmart.
They said you were 20 minutes late that morning, but it was because you were getting gas.
Yeah. I would have. Had I just went straight there from Cracker Barrel, I would have been fine. But I, like I said, I got in my car and then I got to thinking, well, I don't know if when we leave here, are we going to go over to the racetrack and everybody kind of fill up and go, and so I said I should probably just get gas now. So I stopped and got gas.
How come you didn't log on your computer that day until GPS shows you not logging on until 7:45 while you were on the I-75? Is there a reason why you didn't log on until then?
Again, that just does not make sense to me. It really doesn't, because I would have been. I log into my computer when my vehicle's moving. Now I can't say for sure what happened or why that is, but I recall being logged on to my computer from the minute I left my house.
You said that the relationship that you described, Danielle, as being the aggressive one, the sending the photos, pushing, more or less to have the relationship.
Yes.
You did read the text message from you.
Yes.
How do you explain that?
That was after the fact. That was, again, once we had already established that there was these kind of feelings there, I did send her that message. Again, I'm not going to downplay the relationship that we had outside of work. There was a relationship there, and that's what that message is from.
And as far as these times with the GPS, you can't explain why you were showing off. Ironically, during those times where you were with her, or during that period of time, not exactly, but during that time she described.
I cannot explain it at all, but I will say that I never turned my computer off or turned off anything in an attempt to disable a GPS to hide myself from her, or to hide myself from anybody.
Right.
That never happened. So what happened there, I don't know, but it was not done intentionally. To think that, to me, it's known. If you turn off your GPS, it's going to show them that you turn it off anyway. So that's just common knowledge. So I wouldn't turn it off in order to hide anything.
Now looking back at the situation and what's occurred with her on duty, as far as the manual, it says that members will conduct themselves at all times, both on and off duty, in such a manner to reflect most favorably on the office, do you think that any of your behavior during the times you were on duty with her was favorable to the sheriff's office, to the sheriff and his command staff?
You know, in hindsight, it was not. I didn't do. It was a very poor decisions on my behalf. Prior to that, I didn't. When I was meeting up with her, because nothing ever went beyond what it was. It never, for some reason, it just never really dawned on me like, oh no, I'm doing something wrong. And which is why I always met her in a public place where people could see. Wasn't trying to hide or evade anything. And so at the time, if I even had any bit of inkling like that, it would have never happened. I'm always very careful about what I do on and off duty. I made some poor decisions. I was in a bad place. You know, so yes, in hindsight, now looking back, because I made those poor decisions, it opened it up for complaints to be made. But you know, so yes, it was, in hindsight, it was a very poor decision to put myself and the sheriff in that position.
And the fact that you should have been working during those hours you were hanging out with Danielle.
Yes, and I would often spend, you know, instead of eating, because I get busy during the day and I don't eat a lot anyway. But excuse me, but you know, I would, instead of going and sitting down somewhere to eat for an hour or 45 minutes, I would spend 30 minutes talking to her. At the time, that was something that helped me therapeutically, so to speak.
Did you, she said that you talked to her for quite some time on your way up to Gainesville on the phone. She referred to the fact that she knew that you were running emergency mode, and spoke about the convoy, and she knew some specifics. Did you guys talk for quite a while on the way up to Gainesville on the phone afterwards?
It was no more than normal.
No. And the relationship, these times that you met with her on duty, that was all before Robert Close and you spoke, and the relationship came to an end?
Yes, it was all before that, yes.
And why do you think that Danielle would be making these accusations about these times you met, as far as you doing some of these sexual acts, either to her or her to you?
Number one, I don't know what it is about the fact that these things occurred in his truck that make her want to be so dishonest about it, but she is yet to tell him that anything has occurred in his truck. I don't know if this is just another effort to deflect, but again, initially, when I talked to Rob, nothing about the sheriff's office, on duty, off duty, was ever discussed. It was, she said, you guys met and were in your truck, my personal F-150. And that was not the case. So he was very upset when I informed him that his truck was involved. And he almost grew more upset about that than anything. That was what he was most upset about. And every time that he's addressed it with her since then, she has still failed to tell him that that's what happened. So I don't know if this is another deflection method. I don't really know. I'm kind of wondering the same thing as to what's going on.
But you don't have any idea why she would make these accusations?
No.
Because one of them was obviously the one crack barrel instance she was saying was in her truck, or the black truck.
Yep.
And then the other one was in your SUV.
Yep.
But again, you're saying that neither of those instances occurred.
Didn't happen.
You know what the manual says about logging on when you're going in service on your laptop?
I can't repeat it verbatim, but I know that as soon as you know, basically, once your wheels are moving, it needs to be on and turned on.
Yeah. Is there a reason why that didn't occur on some of these days?
I don't recall it not occurring. So no, I don't. I can't say that there's never been a time where I'm driving down the road and I'm distracted by something else, and then I may get 5 miles from my house and go, oh dang, I forgot to turn on my computer and get it started and turn it on that way. But again, none of it was done with any intentions of deceiving anybody. It was an error on my behalf if I failed to turn it on, but it was not for any kind of deceit.
Is there anything else that you that we think we've left out that's important in this case that we haven't covered?
I do not believe so, no.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we complete the statement on record?
No.
Anything you'd like to say to command staff while you're on record? They'll be reviewing this as well.
Yeah, I would like them to know that again, that I'm sorry that any of this occurred. It was not the right thing to do to even have a relationship with her off duty, and I'm paying the consequences of that now. But nothing was ever done, in my opinion, to cause any harm to the sheriff's office. And again, in hindsight, I probably should not have met with her and allowed myself to be put in the situations that I was. But I'm sorry, and it won't happen again.
Mike, is there anything that you have before we go off?
No, Scott.
Complete the statement. All right. That's going to conclude the statement on.
IA 17-19. Incident Summary. On November 21, 2017, the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office received a written complaint from Robert Close, hereinafter Close. Close advised his fiancée, Danielle Angelo, hereinafter Angelo, and DFC Robert Tuck, hereinafter DFC Tuck, met on several occasions for outside business activity while DFC Tuck was on duty. Close alleged the two met on the following dates in DFC Tuck's county. Issued vehicles. Close stated while on the clock on October 11, 2017, DFC Tuck and Angelo met at the Mall, 1441 Tamiami Trail. The two met outside the old police station where Angelo sat in DFC Tuck's gray undercover SUV with no cage or computer, just a radio. According to Close, DFC Tuck said he was supposed to meet with his team for lunch, but instead he met with Angelo. When contacted over the radio, DFC Tuck would elude his exact whereabouts and tell his unit members he was on his way. During this encounter, DFC Tuck and Angelo proceeded to make out and talk for about an hour while in the SUV. On the morning of October 12, 2017, Close said DFC Tuck met with Angelo again in his gray SUV at around the clock Fitness, 1000 Tamiami Trail, Port Charlotte. During the hour spent together in the SUV, Close advised DFC Tuck digitally penetrated Angelo's vagina. On October 17, 2017, Close alleged while DFC Tuck was patrolling Walmart on Kings Highway, he met Angelo at the racetrack across the street. This time DFC Tuck was in a white undercover Ford Taurus, which had a center console and computer. Unlike the SUV, Close stated DFC Tuck asked Angelo to follow him to a parking lot behind the hospital on Easy St. Once at the hospital, Angelo got into the front. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I1. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Seat of DFC Tuck's Ford Taurus for approximately 30 minutes. Close claimed they made out while Angelo was in DFC Tuck's car. Close stated while Angelo was in DFC Tuck's work vehicle, she overheard a call about information needing to be ran on an individual pulled over. DFC Tuck ran the information. During that time, another officer came over the radio asking Tuck where he was. He replied over by Olean. When the other officer said he was coming to meet DFC Tuck, Angelo was asked to depart the area. Close advised DFC Tuck communicated by both text message and verbal communication to Angelo that she could not tell anyone he did any of the above for fear of losing his job. Summary of Danielle Angelo's interview with IA. On November 27, 2017, at approximately 2:10 p.m., I met with Danielle Angelo at Headquarters, District 4, in the IA office to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Angelo was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Angelo advised she understood and did not have any questions prior to going on tape. Angelo advised she and DFC Tuck met on October 7, 2017, then started talking. About 3 days later, Angelo stated there were several times she met with DFC Tuck, but the first time was at Port Charlotte Mall on October 11, 2017. They met by the old sheriff's office / Sears area. Angelo relayed they met in DFC Tuck's undercover gray SUV between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., they talked and kissed for about an hour and then she left. She stated DFC Tuck was supposed to be meeting his unit for lunch, but was with her instead. Angelo confirmed DFC Tuck was in his green uniform and had his sheriff vest with him as well. Integrity, professionalism, trust page I2. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. On October 12, 2017, DFC Tuck and Angelo met again at Around the Clock Fitness. This meeting also took place in the gray SUV assigned to DFC Tuck. It has no cage or computer, just a radio. On this occasion, Angelo stated DFC Tuck was not in uniform. They spent about an hour together. During this time, they kissed and made out. Angelo stated DFC Tuck also fingered her while in the front seat of the SUV. Angelo relayed during their time together, someone came on the radio alarming DFC Tuck. He mentioned he hoped he had not pushed something on the radio. Shortly after this, she left and DFC Tuck either proceeded into the gym or left the area. The next meeting took place at 6 a.m. at the Kings Highway Cracker Barrel. DFC Tuck was supposed to be meeting his unit at 7 a.m. to head to Gainesville. This time the meeting took place in a small white, undercover car with black wheels and tinted windows. The car was possibly a Taurus, it had both a cage and computer in it. DFC Tuck was in uniform, but was not wearing his vest at the time. He got out of his car and got into Angelo's truck. Angelo relayed they proceeded to have oral sex. DFC Tuck then had to leave, as he was late meeting up with his unit. She continued to communicate with DFC Tuck throughout the day. Angelo relayed DFC Tuck suggested several hotels in the area of where he would be staying, but she did not go to Gainesville. On October 17, 2017, between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., Angelo met DFC Tuck again. This time was at the Kings Highway racetrack, when he was patrolling Walmart in the area. According to Angelo, DFC Tuck stated there was no good place to meet around there, so he asked her to follow her. Angelo followed DFC Tuck's white undercover car to a parking lot near the hospital's off-clean Angelo said when she got into DFC Tuck's car, they just talked and kissed this time. During the encounter, someone on the radio asked for DFC Tuck's location. He responded, "Over by Glean and the hospitals." Angelo relayed she then left, as whoever was on the radio was headed toward DFC Tuck. Angelo finished up by stating this was the last encounter involving DFC Tuck while he was on duty and in his patrol car. Angelo's last contact with DFC Tuck was Integrity Professionalism Trust GEI 3. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. November 16, 2017. She stated her significant other found out they had been communicating and called DFC Tuck's wife. Angelo stated everything came out over the next few days. When asked if Angelo wanted to relay any other information regarding the situation, she stated DFC Tuck mentioned on several different occasions he knew he would get in trouble at work if she told anyone she was in his patrol car. He insisted she should not tell anyone, both in person and by phone. Angelo finished by saying both her and DFC Tuck should not have engaged in any of the above. It was wrong on both their parts. Notification of internal investigation and administrative duty. On November 28, 2017, DFC Robert Tuck was notified a complaint had been filed against him and he was being investigated by the Internal Affairs Unit. DFC Tuck was advised the investigation would pertain to policy violations of conduct unbecoming. DFC Tuck was also provided a confidentiality of internal investigations form, which he signed and understood. In addition, DFC Tuck was provided with a copy of his rights, law enforcement officers' rights, while under investigation. On November 29, 2017, DFC Tuck was placed on administrative duty, pending the outcome of the investigation regarding his actions. Per GO #3.50, DFC Tuck was ordered to take the following action: surrender his department equipment as requested, dress in business casual, and take no law enforcement action. In addition, DFC Tuck was advised access to agency databases, email, and buildings would be monitored by the Bureau Commander or designee. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust IBSB. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Operations Manual General Order GO 3.50. Correspondence 6.0.3.50 F.4D.LL. Conduct unbecoming. Members will conduct themselves at all times, both on and off duty, in such a manner as to reflect most favorably on the office. Conduct unbecoming a member will include that which tends to bring this office into disrepute or reflects discredit upon the member, or that which tends to impair the operation and efficiency of this office. Their actions or lack of action brought disfavor to the agency and discredit to the member. On November 29, 2017, at approximately 2:25 p.m., I met with Robert Close at headquarters, $4, in the IA office to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing his involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Close was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Close advised he understood and did not have any questions prior to going on tape. Close started out by saying he called Human Resources. They advised he needed to contact DFC Tuck's sergeant directly. Close then set up a meeting at the mall with Sergeant Gregory Colossus, hereinafter Sergeant Colossus, to discuss the situation. Angito, his fiancée, was sick, being treated for postpartum etc., and he started noticing changes in her habits. Close then realized texts coming to her phone from DFC Tuck. He noticed them around the 14 or 15 of November, although the Situation started back on October 8, 2017. Close first suspected something around Halloween, but things seemed to quiet down. Shortly after, he again noticed more texts. On November 16, 2017, he confronted Angelo, and began screenshotting the integrity, professionalism, trust GEIS. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Texts between her and DFC Tuck on her phone. Close called DFC Tuck a couple of times, but got no answer. He then texted DFC Tuck. DFC Tuck immediately responded to Angelo's phone and sent WTF. Close then waited until the following day to see if DFC Tuck would get back in contact with him. He didn't get a response, so Close decided to contact DFC Tuck's wife himself and ask her to speak with her husband about what was going on. DFC Tuck's wife messaged Close through Instagram, telling him to talk to DFC Tuck directly. A few days later, Close received a text from DFC Tuck asking if he could call. Close messaged him back the following day, as he was tied up with work at the time he received the text. Close then spoke directly with DFC Tuck. Close stated DFC Tuck gave him many variations of what had happened, compared to the text messages he had read on Angelo's phone. According to Close, DFC Tuck relayed no one hurt more than he did, as Close was considered a good friend of his. DFC Tuck also stated he was seeing a counselor because of the situation. Close said they discussed the fact that DFC Tuck had mentioned previously his wife quit taking her birth control and snuck in another baby on him. He also didn't know if he and his wife would make it through this, because it's the second time he's been caught. Close could hear DFC Tuck's upset wife in the background, but could not make out what she was saying. Close felt like DFC Tuck was trying to comfort him, and confirm he and Angelo could make it through this. Close stated he told DFC Tuck he wasn't done with him yet, was upset, and hung up on DFC Tuck at this time. DFC Tuck called Close back and asked if the only reason he wanted him to call was to threaten him. Close confirmed he didn't mean it as a threat. DFC Tuck mentioned Close should want to shoot him. Close responded by saying, it wouldn't get him anywhere. Close felt DFC Tuck was trying to sell him on his side of the story. He also confirmed he never mentioned to DFC Tuck during their conversation he was going to call the sheriff's office. Close was concerned about retaliation or future harassment. I asked Close what he knew about Angelo and DFC Tuck's encounters while DFC Tuck was on duty. Close provided the same information as Angelo did in her integrity, professionalism, trust page I-6. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Statement, with exception of the time the two met at Cracker Barrel. Close did not know Angelo and DFC Tuck met the morning of October 18, 2017. I asked Close when the last time Angelo and DFC Tuck had verbal or physical communication. Close advised, to the best of his knowledge, the last time was October 16, 2017. When DFC Tuck was getting a tattoo of his newborn son. At the end of the interview, I asked Close if there was anything else we didn't cover about his conversations with DFC Tuck or his wife. Close stated DFC Tuck's wife sent him a text saying I'm humiliated and I'm sorry. Close also said DFC Tuck's wife sent another text saying, I hold my 2-week-old baby and my heart is broken. K/feet dates, and GPS information. Angelo alleges on October 11, 2017, she met with DFC Tuck at the PT Charlotte. Molly, 1441 to Miami Trail between the hours of 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., in the gray SUV. GPS search revealed DFC Tuck arrived at the mall at 12 hours 5 minutes and 43 seconds. At that point, there are no other times logged until 12 hours 56 minutes and 58 seconds, at which time the GPS log shows DFC Tuck departing the area. Angelo alleges on October 12, 2017, she met with DFC Tuck at around the clock. Fitness, 1000 to Miami Trail between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., in his gray SUV while he was off duty. GPS reveals DFC Tuck did not log in that day until 11:35 a.m. Angelo alleges on October 17, 2017, she met with DFC Tuck at the Kings Highway racetrack, where she ultimately followed him to the area of EZST and the hospital. This occurred during the hours of 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., while DFC Tuck was in his white unmarked Ford Taurus. GPS revealed at 12 hours 59 minutes and 39 seconds DFC Tuck was traveling north toward Midway on Kings. At that point, there are no other times logged until 2 hours 2 minutes and 54 seconds, at which time the GPS log shows DFC Tuck again in the area of Midway on Kings. Angelo alleges on October 18, 2017, she met with DFC Tuck in the Cracker Barrel parking lot, 800 Kings Highway between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m., DFC Tuck was driving his white unmarked Ford Taurus at the time. GPS revealed DFC integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-7. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Tuck did not log in or turn his laptop on until 7:45 and 53 seconds a.m., at which time he was already northbound on 75 at Sumter. In addition, video footage from Cracker Barrel places DFC Tuck in the parking lot at 6:21 and 22 seconds a.m., at that location. 0745:50. JGG surveillance at Cracker Barn. On November 29, 2017, one spoke with Adam Fulton, hereinafter Fulton, from Cracker Barrel Loss Prevention, in effort to see if there was any available video from the morning of October 18, 2017. Fulton took the information regarding dates, times, and vehicle descriptions and advised me he would get back to me. Later the same day, Fulton contacted me and advised he did not have the cars parked, but he may have them passing by cameras. Fulton said he could see a large truck fitting the description of Angelo's enter the property, then a white car. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-8. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Backed up and drove back toward it. The incident is recorded at 6:21 and 22 seconds a.m. Fulton sent me a copy of the video for review. The video shows a white unmarked Ford Taurus pull into a parking spot, where it sat with its brake lights on facing the hotel. It then shows a full-size black pickup truck entering the main access road, at which time the white Taurus pulls out and follows the truck to another unknown location. Summary of DFC Robert Tuck's interview with IA. On December 4, 2017, at approximately 9 a.m., I met with DFC Robert Tuck and his attorney, Mike Savage, at my office in the District 4 headquarters in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing DFC Tuck's involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, DFC Tuck was provided all related case material. He was given ample time to read over and review all the available information. At 10:35 a.m., DFC Tuck was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. In addition, DFC Tuck signed and acknowledged receiving the Garrity advisory. DFC Tuck advised he has known Danielle Angelo for 7 years. DFC Tuck said, His best friend is friends with Angelo's fiancé, Robert Close. DFC Tuck stated he has talked and been around Angelo on 30 to 40 occasions, prior to taking their relationship to the next level. DFC Tuck explained in the beginning of October he ran into Angelo while out with a group of friends in downtown Punta Gorda. The two talked about various things during the evening, then ended up at a mutual friend's house. DFC Tuck advised nothing happened between the two other than conversation. Approximately 3 days later, DFC Tuck said he contacted Angelo to question her about a comment one of their friends made about the two of them the night they were all out. Angelo told him not to worry about it, and the two left it at that. DFC Tuck stated another 2 or 3 days went by, then Angelo reached out to him via text. According to DFC Tuck, Angelo told him she liked talking to integrity, professionalism, trust, page 19. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Him and felt the two of them had many similarities. DFC Tuck advised either on the same day or the following day, Angelo texted him again and told him she wanted to meet up. DFC Tuck said the two met at the PT Charlotte Mall, in the parking lot near Sears, while he was working. DFC Tuck said he didn't feel comfortable standing outside of his car since he was in uniform, so he asked Angelo to sit in the front seat of his vehicle. DFC Tuck advised the two of them talked for approximately 40 minutes. Afterwards, DFC Tuck said Angelo leaned over and he gave her a peck on the lips. DFC Tuck stated it was not a makeout session, it was nothing more than a peck on the lips. After meeting at the mall, DFC Tuck said the two communicated while he was at work and home for several days. A few days later, DFC Tuck advised Angelo reached out to him and the two met at Around the Clock Fitness, prior to his work out. DFC Tuck explained he drove his silver undercover SUV to the gym and did not have his computer on because it doesn't hold a charge for long. When the two met up, Angelo got in the front seat of DFC Tuck's SUV and they talked for about 20 to 30 minutes. Afterwards, DFC Tuck stated same scenario, she leaned over, I gave her a peck on the lips and then she left, no intimacy, no nothing. Just a kiss on the lips. DFC Tuck advised for the next 2 weeks he and Angelo had a physical relationship, in Angelo's personal black pickup truck, outside of work. After a few weeks, DFC Tuck said he tried to end the relationship. According to DFC Tuck, he felt things were getting out of hand and he began feeling remorseful and guilty about their relationship. On a Thursday around that time, DFC Tuck said while getting a tattoo, he began receiving text messages and videos from Angelo of her naked. At the same time, he also began receiving phone calls from Close. At that point, DFC Tuck advised he put 2 and 2 together and assumed something had happened and Close was aware of their relationship. The following day, DFC Tuck stated he was in his personal vehicle with his wife when she received a call from Close. According to DFC Tuck, he had already decided he was going to come clean with his wife regarding his involvement with integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-10. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Angelo. After his wife hung up with Close, she asked DFC Tuck some questions. He said it was then I came clean with her. DFC Tuck advised she was upset, but it was something they were going to get through. A few days later, DFC Tuck's wife told him Close had been continuing to call her and was asking her questions. She couldn't answer. His wife told him he needed to call Close and tell him the truth. DFC Tuck stated he then contacted Close and told him everything. DFC. Tuck said as he told Close detailed things, he learned Angelo had been denying everything and lying about the truth to Close. I asked DFC Tuck if there were any other times he met with Angelo on duty, other than the 2 times he mentioned. DFC Tuck admitted to meeting Angelo in an overflow parking lot of the hospital, near the bridge. DFC Tuck also stated he met with Angelo in the Cracker Barrel parking lot, prior to going to Gainesville. I asked DFC Tuck about October 11, 2017, referencing his GPS. I explained his GPS showed him at the mall at 12:05 p.m., then there was nothing until 12:56 p.m., where he reappeared at the mall again. I asked DFC Tuck if he knew why it might have shown up like that. DFC Tuck advised he had no idea, and stated, "I don't know how to do that, nor have I ever tried." I asked him if he ever turned his computer off during the time he was with Angelo. He said, "No, I did not. I've never turned my computer off to evade anything." I asked DFC Tuck about Angelo claiming they made out during their meeting at the mall. He said it wasn't true. I asked DFC Tuck about October 12, 2017, when they met at around the clock fitness. He confirmed Angelo got into his assigned gray SUV, but denied any sexual activity occurring. I asked him about Danielle claiming he figured her vagina. DFC Tuck replied, "Absolutely not, that never happened." I asked him why she would say it if it never happened. DFC Tuck said, "I really don't know why a lot of this is happening, but I know she's pretty upset about the fact I'm still with my wife and not with her." DFC Tuck ended by saying, "I really don't know why she would say that." Integrity, professionalism, trust. Page I-11. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I asked DFC Tuck about October 17, 2017, when the 2 met near the hospital. DFC Tuck confirmed he was driving his assigned white Ford Taurus, and Angelo did get in the front passenger seat. I asked him about Angelo's statement regarding the 2 of them kissing in his vehicle. DFC Tuck said, "I gave her a peck on the lips when she left, that's it, LT wasn't a makeout session." I asked DFC Tuck about October 18, 2017, when the 2 met in the Cracker Barrel parking lot. DFC Tuck confirmed he got into Angelo's truck when she arrived. DFC Tuck denied having any type of sexual contact during their encounter, and denied receiving a blowjob from Angelo. DFC Tuck claimed all they did was talk for a bit. I asked DFC Tuck if he was late meeting the other members at the Kings Highway Walmart. DFC Tuck advised he was late because he stopped at the gas station after leaving Angelo. DFC Tuck said had he went straight there from Cracker Barrel, he would have been fine. I asked DFC Tuck why he didn't log on his computer that morning until 7:45 a.m. DFC Tuck advised it didn't make sense to him, because he always logs onto his computer when he leaves his residence. He stated, "I can't say why that is, but I can remember being logged onto my computer from the minute I left my house." I asked DFC Tuck about a few of the text messages to Angelo from him. I referred to the fact he claimed Angelo was the one who pushed the relationship, yet from the text messages it appeared he was. DFC Tuck did not deny having strong feelings for Angelo. DFC Tuck said he sent her a particular message during the period of time their relationship became intimate outside of work. I asked DFC Tuck again about the times his GPS had appeared to be manipulated or turned off. DFC Tuck stated, "I never turned my computer off in attempt to hide myself from anybody." DFC Tuck went on to say, "I don't know why that happened, but it Wasn't done intentionally. I asked DFC Tuck, looking back now, if he felt his behavior and actions with Angelo while on duty had brought disfavor to the agency or discredit to him. DFC Tuck. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-12. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Stated, it was not, it was a very poor decision on my behalf, DFC Tuck went on to say at the time, it really never dawned on me I was doing something wrong. L always met her in a public place where people could see, I wasn't trying to hide or evade anything. DFC Tuck admitted he had been in a bad place and made some poor decisions. He further advised, in hindsight now looking back, it was a very poor decision to put myself and the sheriff in that position. I asked DFC Tuck why Angelo would make accusations of the two of them having sexual contact while he was on duty if it wasn't true. DFC Tuck said he didn't know why and insisted it never happened. I asked DFC Tuck if he was familiar with the manual regarding logging in on his computer when mobile in his assigned vehicle. DFC Tuck advised he didn't know it verbatim, but said I know basically. Once your wheels are turning it needs to be turned on. I asked DFC Tuck why. Then did it occur he was not logged in on some of the mentioned days? DFC Tuck's response was I don't recall it not occurring, so, no I don't. DFC Tuck again reiterated the fact none of it was ever done with any intention of deceiving anyone. He also said, it was an error on my behalf if one failed to turn it on, but it was not done for any kind of deceit. At the end of the interview, I asked DFC Tuck if there was anything else we didn't cover or anything he wanted to add. DFC Tuck stated I would like command staff to know I'm sorry that any of this occurred, it was not the right thing to even have a relationship with her off duty, nothing was ever done to cause any harm to the sheriff's office. Euro. AR Imjiv Enter VW. On December 6, 2017, at approximately 6:35 a.m., one met with Ryan Finnegan. Herein after Finnegan, at 1001 Education Avenue, Punta Gorda, Florida, to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing his involvement in this case. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page 113. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Prior to the interview, Finnegan was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Finnegan advised he understood and did not have any questions prior to going on tape. Finnegan advised DFC Tuck contacted him via phone and came clean to him about exchanging some text messages with Angelo. After getting deeper in conversation, DFC Tuck admitted to fooling around physically with Angelo while in Robert Close's truck. Finnegan stated after his conversation with DFC Tuck, he notified Close. He told Close what DFC Tuck had said, since he was also good friends with Close. Finnegan said before he told Close though, he texted Angelo and gave her the opportunity to tell Close herself. Angelo said she wasn't going to do it. Since she wasn't going to tell him, Finnegan took it upon himself to inform Close. I asked Finnegan what his relationship was with both Close and DFC Tuck. Finnegan advised he's known both of them for about 25 years. He said DFC Tuck was his best man in his wedding and Close was one of the groomsmen. I asked Finnegan if DFC Tuck ever mentioned anything to him about meeting or doing anything with Angelo while on duty during their conversation. Finnegan stated DFC Tuck never said anything to him about meeting with Angelo while on duty, he only spoke about meeting her while off duty in Close's black pickup truck. Notification to DFC Tuck regarding interview with FL. On December 6, 2017, at approximately 10 a.m., I made contact with DFC Tuck. via phone and advised him of the additional interview conducted with Finnegan. DFC Tuck said he wished to waive the opportunity to review the statement provided by Finnegan. This was also documented in the following email. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-14. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. OK Mad Tuck R2M. TFOM, Seniani. Keen. SM Utnodar, at Combo 06.2017 U4M asterisk. 2, Tuck. Reben I Truck CN Ailnad. Suffolk L in, CVWW Witty Ryan HNTAO / OK Robart Tuck. THH8 Na H in Rafaranksa to our Comer Moon Radard Inf IHA Killarvia I conductad with Ryan Finnegan on U.06-17. I, wanlad to document that you aracho eelni not to coma in NR. Gordad in Tarvia I conductad WKH Mr. Finnegan. Plaza Raspond back and IWHI Tundada THH Amid and your Radponta WMHTHA Kata paperwork. Thank you in advat 4R. Conclusion. During the course of this investigation, I have obtained witness statements from Danielle Angelo, Robert Close, and Ryan Finnegan. In addition, I have reviewed AII. Other supporting information, along with Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order 3.50, the policy governing guidelines for appropriate conduct/disciplinary procedures. Based on the statements provided by the witnesses, as well as DFC Tuck's statement and own admittance, it is clear DFC Tuck violated policies and procedures regarding conduct unbecoming, neglect of duty and violation of official procedures or directives not endangering persons or property in accordance with laptop operation/logging on. During my interview with DFC Tuck, he admitted to meeting with Angelo on the dates and times she mentioned in her statement. DFC Tuck's recollection of the chain of events during each encounter corroborate with Angio's statement. Except for the following. On October 11, 2017, DFC Tuck denied making out with Angio while the two sat in his vehicle. DFC Tuck said, "I gave her a peck on the lips when she left, that's it, it wasn't a make-out session." During their encounter on October 12, 2017, DFC Tuck did confirm Angio got into his assigned gray SUV, but denied any sexual activity occurring. I asked him about the fact Danielle claimed he fingered her vagina. DFC Tuck replied absolutely not, that never happened. On October 17, 2017, DFC Tuck again denied making out while in his vehicle. During his interview he said, "I gave her a peck on the lips when." Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-15. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. She left, that's it, LT wasn't a make-out session. During their encounter on October 18, 2017, DFC Tuck did say he got into Angelo's truck when she arrived. While in the truck though, DFC Tuck denied having any type of sexual contact with Angelo and denied receiving oral sex from her. DFC Tuck claimed all the two of them did was talk for a bit. Regarding DFC Tuck's GPS, it is clear there are voids regarding his AVL. There are times when there is no record of him showing up for extended periods. The voids clearly involve the periods of time DFC Tuck has admitted to being with Angelo. After checking CAD reports and conducting extensive research through MIS, there is inconclusive evidence to confirm DFC Tuck manipulated his AVL system in any way. It is also clear DFC Tuck was at the Cracker Barrel on October 18, 2017, at 6:21 a.m. GPS records show he did not log on his mobile laptop computer from the time he left his residence until 7:46 a.m., when he shows northbound on 1 to 75 and Sumter. During my interview with DFC Tuck, I asked him if he was familiar with the manual regarding logging in on his computer when mobile in his assigned vehicle. DFC Tuck advised he didn't know it verbatim, but said I know basically. Once your wheels are turning, it needs to be turned on. At the end of the interview, DFC Tuck did take accountability and admitted he neglected his duties as he spent extended periods of time with Angelo while on duty. I asked DFC Tuck, looking back now, if he felt his behavior/actions with Angelo while on duty has brought disfavor to the agency or discredit to him. DFC Tuck stated it was a very poor decision on my behalf. DFC Tuck concluded by saying I would like command staff to know I'm sorry that any of this occurred. LT was not the right thing to even have a relationship with her off duty. Nothing was ever done to cause any harm to the sheriff's office. See. This investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Robert Tuck violated Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.D.L2. Conduct unbecoming and the charge is sustained. DFC Tuck violated the above-mentioned policy by allowing Angelo in his assigned work vehicle for his own personal interest on numerous occasions, both on and off duty. By doing so, his integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-16. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Intentions and actions were not in accord with policy and the core values of the agency or that of an officer. This investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Robert Tuck violated Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO 3.50F.4.B.L5. Neglect of duty, loafing, inattention to duties or procedures, and the charge is sustained. DFC Tuck violated the above-mentioned policy by spending extended periods of time with Angelo while on duty. By doing so, DFC Tuck was negligent in performing his duties and failed to meet the expectations of his job. This investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate DFC Robert Tuck violated Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO 3.50F.4.B.3. Violation of official procedures or directives, not endangering persons or property, with relation to violation of GO 6.04E.L, mobile laptop operations. And the charge is sustained. DFC Tuck violated the above-mentioned policy by failing to turn on or log on to his mobile laptop computer after leaving his residence in his assigned vehicle. DFC Tuck failed to log on to his computer for approximately 2 hours before his AVL showed him on 1-75 near Sumter Boulevard. I, the undersigned, do hereby swear, under penalty of perjury, to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief, I have not knowingly or willfully deprived, or allowed another to deprive, the subject of the investigation of any rights contained in SS 112.532 and 112.533, Florida Statutes. Scott Clemens, Sergeant, Internal Affairs, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Integrity, professionalism, trust, page I-17.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me, and I'm sick of it. So I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.